Hello everybody, sorry that there's been a bit of a silence on the YouTube channel. I haven't been very well, and if you panned down, which I'm not going to, you'd see I've got my pyjamas on, I've got my slippers on, fluffy blanket over my lap, I've got a mug of honey and lemon here, and I just want to get better for Christmas, so I've been trying to take it easy. Actually, I've just been in bed, let's not lie, so I haven't been able to film anything. And so tonight I thought, with my blocked up nose, I would do a video on books, because I did promise this for lots of people who wanted to know recommendations for books to buy for various people in their family and for their friends. And I know that this isn't going to be the most popular video on YouTube because lots of people couldn't care less about books, but I am a really voracious reader and always have been, and so I thought that you might like some of my suggestions. And books are brilliant because you can buy them last minute. I think Amazon delivering, if you order on Tuesday night, you will still get it for Christmas or something, which is insane. And you can always go to kind of town and go to Waterstones or Smiths or Foyles or wherever it is that you go. So they're really good. They're a really good thing to do last minute. So first of all, I have 3 non-fiction books. 2 cookbooks and a beauty book. Now this is my top recommendation of the year. This is the Pretty Honest book by Sally Hughes. It's probably the best beauty book that I've ever read. It covers everything from the basics right up to more complicated things, so it's brilliant for everybody. It's just a gorgeous book. So for everybody, cousins, sisters, aunts, mums, I mean, it is more, there is a bit of male grooming in there, but it's definitely geared more towards the females, so it's going to be female relatives and friends. Stockpile it, get it for everybody, you cannot go wrong with this. And then for my 2 cookbooks, the first one is Jamie's Comfort Food. I hate this picture on the bottom, but it looks like this underneath, which is quite cool and retro. And I love Jamie Oliver cookbooks. I have loads of them in the cupboard because they might not be the most groundbreaking recipes with, you know, ridiculous methods that you need to follow and really complicated ways of cooking stuff. But all of his recipes I just find really inspiring. They look, or he makes them look like you can do them. And they make you want to cook, which I think is the most important thing. In my cookbook cupboard I have dozens of cookbooks, and I have some really complicated ones, you know, like the French gastronomy and things like that. I never look in them. The ones that I use are the ones like Jamie Oliver and Rick Stein and Nigella, people that simplify it and just make gorgeous food that you want to eat. So I can highly recommend this one. This is the new one. I've had a good look. I really hope that my friends and family aren't watching, because lots of these books I've bought specifically for them, and so it'll be a bit of a surprise. I suppose they wouldn't know which one they're getting. The next one is Tom Kerridge's Best Ever Dishes, and I know that I showed you the pub food one a couple of weeks ago that was £5, and I did it in my budget video. This is his new one, so it's slightly more expensive. But ever since Tom Kerridge appeared on my television screen, I've really grown to like him, and he just has a very jolly and approachable way of talking about food. You know, he really enjoys doing his food. And I must say that there are a lot more recipes in this one than in the pub one that I want to make. It's a little bit more grown up and advanced than the Jamie Oliver. Some slightly more complicated methods, I'd say, but still, everything's completely doable. And so, yes, that's my other one. Now 3 books that I think would be really good for dads, uncles, brothers. I don't like to put a gender on fiction and say this is great for guys and these ones are great for girls, but I do find that lots of fiction is marketed at women, and it's sometimes quite difficult to know what you would buy for a male relative. And so I've just picked out 3 books that are equally suitable for women. I'm not trying to make any sexist point here. But they've been road tested by men that I know and they loved them, and so I just wanted to make life easier if you're looking for that, you know, books that you think would suit your dad or brother or whoever, and they won't kind of go, oh my god, what's this? So the first one I bought for my dad earlier this year for his birthday. He read it, gave it back to me because he thought it was brilliant, and I read it, and this is The Sonnets by Philip Mayer, and it's kind of historical in that it goes all the way back to the beginning of kind of Wild West history, if you like. So it's very cowboys and Indians, very gory, very action-packed, but it has these kind of emotional roller coaster rides running through it as well. It is very, very gory, but there's a lot of historical content in there as well. And it follows a number of different characters, but they're all related. They're all kind of generations of the same family. And it's very good. It's all kind of Wild West, Texas Rangers, the frontier, you know, kind of people chasing each other with bows and arrows. Brilliant read. I found it a bit gory, but I think it'll be a winner. The next one, bit of a crowd pleaser, Robert Galbraith's The Cuckoo's Calling, which, as we all know by now, that's J.K. Rowling writing under a pseudonym. And this is, I think she's going to be doing, I think I read online that she's going to be doing 7 more of these in this series. And this is the first of the books, and it's about a detective called Cormoran Strike. I have to say that I found the ending personally slightly weak, but I always find endings of books slightly weak, and I've got a thing about endings. But it's a real page turner. It's great if you're sat in at Christmas and you just want something to keep you going that's full of twists and turns and a bit of a page turner. So I like that a lot. Last one, this is my favourite. I don't know whether you've heard of C.J. Sansom, but he writes kind of crime detective novels but set in the Tudor times. And they're based around a lawyer called Shardlake, and he always gets himself into these pickles and gets commissioned to do these jobs by people and ends up nearly getting his head cut off and all this kind of stuff. And this is the latest in the series, Lamentation. I'm slightly obsessed with the Tudor era, and so I've read most fiction that comes up around that time. It's a very popular era for fiction. So highly recommended. Loads of people in my family love these books. Mr. AMR loves these as well. And now, sandwiched in the middle of ones that I've read, 3 books that I haven't read yet, but I've bought these for myself to read over Christmas. And they're all in the same category really, because they're all either shortlisted or longlisted for the Man Booker Prize 2014. In fact, one of them's the winner. And what I tend to do every year when the Booker Prize list comes out, or the shortlist, I do tend to work my way through it, because you're not guaranteed a good read. Put it this way, you're not guaranteed a read that you're particularly going to like and that is to your taste. But at least you're guaranteed something that's not going to be a total load of crap. So I do tend to work my way through, and I've found some really good writers this way and then gone on to read other ones of their books. So this one is called The Lives of Others. I've heard lots of good things about this, and so I can't wait to get started on that. I'm afraid I can't tell you very much about any of them because I literally haven't read them at all, but I just wanted to point out that the Booker Prize list can be a really good way, and if you go on Amazon and Google, kind of put in the search box Booker Prize 2014, it will bring up the long list and the short list, and you can buy from there. So that one. And then we have the new David Nichols, who wrote One Day, which was, you know, massive, massive bestseller, and they made a film out of it. And this was longlisted for the Man Booker Prize. This is called Us. And then finally, this was the winner. This is Richard Flanagan, and it's The Narrow Road to the Deep North. And I've heard amazing things about this one, so I'm really excited about reading it. The Fault in Our Stars. Now, I know that this is hugely, hugely famous, this book, but I hadn't heard of it till recently, and I'm not really sure that it's aimed at my age group. It seems to be more of like a young adult or teen fiction book, but it is absolutely brilliant. I'm about halfway through. I've laughed out loud so many times. It's so beautifully written. It's quite heartbreaking. It's just brilliant, and I can't wait to get back to it. I can't wait to get back into bed to keep on reading. I'd even rather read this than watch Homeland, so it's pretty good. And so I think this is a nice, suitable one if you were buying for more kind of like the teen audience or young adult audience. But also, you know, I'm 34 and I'm loving it. So there you go, a bit of a crowd pleaser, that one. Finished this last week. This is Americana by Chimamanda Adichie. I hope I've said her name right. And I think that she is the most amazing author. She also wrote Purple Hibiscus and is it called Half of a Yellow Sun? That's it. And both of those books for me were just life-changing. She writes about, or mostly about Nigeria and life in Nigeria. And it's always very poignant and very intelligent and very kind of horizon broadening and eye-opening. And this one is about a girl from Nigeria who goes to finish school in America, and it kind of writes about American life and Nigerian life side by side, and it's a really interesting contrast and brings up some brilliant issues, and so I couldn't recommend that enough. Absolutely loved it. It's not like some kind of thriller page turner or anything like that. It's a very thoughtful book, but wonderful. Loved that. And then finally we have The Miniaturist by Jessie Burton, and this is a rather kind of unique idea for a story, but it's about a girl in Holland, and again it's quite historical, and she gets married off young and gets given this doll's house, and then weird things start happening and all these kind of tales unravel in this dark house that she doesn't want to be in. And parts of it I thought were really, really scary, but it's not a horror story. It's just really well researched, loads of beautiful detail about that time, and great characters, and again, couldn't put that one down. So I hope you found that useful. I'll put all the links to everything below, and my candle video goes up in a couple of days' time, so they're very squashed together, but that can't be helped. And yes, I shall see you in the next video.